Are you like me wondering why every single content creator out there is uploading the same draft? Well, today I'm here to tell you everything wrong with what FPL Review is talking about. Yes, this is going to be controversial, but that is because I don't use any AI-based algorithm program to tell me which players to pick. It's all based on my own research, my gut feels, etc., etc. And today I'm going to tear apart a bunch of players that are being popularized by a lot of content creators. Without further ado, smash a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, if you like these views, and let me know in the comments what you think about the players I'm going to tear apart and FPL Review in general. And without further ado, let's go. How not to win at FPL. Now, it's going to sound pretty bombastic and preposterous that I've just come out with that. I've literally just come out with a new word, but I can guarantee you that following an AI algorithm, programs such as FPL Review, Solio that's just launched this week as well, and content creators are literally taking the optimal team, which we're going to have a look at very shortly with all the popular players in it, and literally just putting it out there as their team. And I'm not going to name names, but all you have to do is look at a bunch of drafts and you're probably going to know exactly what I'm talking about. People are literally putting out the same thing. In fact, I think you're probably like me, sick of seeing draft videos, because if you're watching at this point, that's exactly why you're watching, because of the fact you're probably sick of it. I've only put out two the entire time, my updated one and my initial one, and I can probably tell you, I have thought about putting out another one because it has changed a bit, or if I just leave it to my team selection video next week. Let me know in the comments if you want an updated draft video, because I'm happy to share it, and it's not like the ones I'm going to be sharing with you today. Now, I don't understand why, honestly, if you don't want to win FPL, pick players like Ndiaye, the two Andersons, the Anderson in midfield for Forest, the Anderson in defence for Fulham, Kudos, Van de Ven, Virgil, Gabriel, Gihi, all these players, I'm telling you, are not going to win FPL. Like, they're not going to be in the team that wins FPL. I can guarantee it straight off the bat. If they are, I will send you a free FPL D-Unit shirt just to prove a point. I'm more than happy to do that. The next point that you don't want to do if you want to win is roll your transfers to 5. Like, that is the most boring strategy out there. And I can tell you the max I managed to get to last year was, I think I made 3 free transfers in 1 week because I'd saved 2 up. And then I got the third week. So if you saved your transfers, you're obviously not changing a team, and no one's team is optimal every single week. All you have to do is go to Fantasy Football Hub. This is a shout out to them. Just to go in there, and they'll change from week to week how optimized your team is, and it changes from week to week. If you're not making any transfers, it's not getting any better. You're obviously not targeting all the fixtures. There isn't a great run of 6 fixtures for all your 15 players for 6 weeks in a row. It just doesn't happen. Not using your transfers is the first step to not winning at FPL. 100%. As I said, I never got to 5 last season, and the only reason I'm going to get to 5 this year is because they're giving us 5 free ones in game week 16. And the way I look at it, if you're not making the transfers, you're missing out on points. That's essentially what I did. I actually think about this season. I'm like, which teams do I want to target this year at the moment? Burnley, 100%. Sunderland, 100%. Leeds, 100%. My transfers, I can guarantee, are going to be targeted on those 3 teams. Probably Wolves is going to join that crew at some point, maybe even West Ham, but that's what I'm going to be doing. Then, blindly expecting Salah and Haaland to be worth the money that you pay for them, and to the detriment of the rest of your squad. Haaland comes in at 14 mil, Salah comes in at 14.5. Salah's nowhere near worth 14.5 at all, based on the last 3 months of his season last year. I think that's the output we're likely to see. He's also going away to AFCON duty at around the game week 16 mark. Haaland last season, other than the first 6 or so weeks, was pretty bang average. Again, I don't understand how Ollie Watkins' 9 mil outscores Haaland 2 years in a row, and Haaland's still ranked at 14 mil. Yes, he has the hat tricks in him, but so do a lot of other players in the game, and they aren't priced at that point. So I think just blindly thinking that they should be your captain every single week, that is lazy. And I think that is one of the recipes for not winning at FPL. So why are these players popular? They're popular because FPL Review recommends them. And I'm here to tear apart every single one of them because there's a lot that doesn't make any sense at all. Let's start with everyone's favourite 6.5 million midfielder, Ilian and Dye for Everton. Jack Grealish could be getting signed by Everton very shortly. Dewsbury Hall was just signed for Everton. Moyes basically said that the squad isn't ready and they need signings. The reason why people obsess with him is because they think he's on penalties. Now, yes, he was on penalties last year, but that was because you didn't have Barry, who you've already signed. You didn't have some of these other players coming in. Does he even start if Jack Grealish goes to Everton? Like, this is what I don't understand. Now, the things going for him. He scored 9 goals, which for a midfielder is pretty decent. He had 15 clean sheets as a midfielder, which is 15 extra points, which is pretty decent. 29 starts is really not that flash. He missed a quarter of the season by my math. Missed 9 games. Well, I didn't start 9 games. An XG is 0.23, nothing too bad. XA of 0.05, though, as a midfielder is absolutely turgid. And a DC contribution of 9.83. I'm going to give that a green because I think that that's okay. So I understand some of the allure, but he plays for Everton. Everton do not bang in goals. I don't understand why he's so popular. Then we go into Kudos. And if you ask any West Ham fan, they'll tell you that last season he was played off the right or whatever, or he's played off the left, sorry, and he's rubbish on the left. Now, Son's left, Maddison's out. He could end up being the number 10, potentially, but Brennan Johnson's arguably better off the right. Maybe Brennan Johnson goes to the left, but if Kudos goes to the left, all you have to do is look at his stats from last year. Only 5 goals, only 4 assists, 31 starts, started regularly, 7 clean sheets, not ideal as a midfielder. West Ham have one of the rubbish defences. Ironically, he's gone to one that was even worse than West Ham last year. An XA of 0.09, an XG of 0.24, not too bad. But a DC, again, 6.57. I don't understand the allure of Kudos at all. At all. Then we get on to Anderson. Now, I get he's only 5.5 and he's a good enabler and maybe realistically you're not going to be playing him any week and he is going to get those defensive contribution points because his average is 13.43 a game. He starts regularly. Nottingham Forest kept a lot of clean sheets last year. They might do so again this year, but they're in Europe this year. His underlying attacking data isn't overly flash. Yes, he's got 6 assists, which I put down as a pass at his price. But in reality, he got booked 10 times last season. It was either 10 or 11 times last season. So all those defensive contribution points, you can literally halve them based on the yellow cards. I don't know. I'm not convinced. Then we go on to Pedro Porro, and this one makes 0 sense to me at all. 28 starts he had last season for 6 clean sheets. Your number one job as a defender is to get the clean sheet points. Tottenham did not do that last year. In fact, over the last few years, if you go back and look at their clean sheets over the last few years, they haven't been very good at it. Now, Pedro Porro, 6.63 defensive contributions per 90. Again, that's not really going to get him any points. Then you're looking at the XA. So the XA is really good here, 0.16. No questions about that. 6 attacking returns from assists, really good. 2 goals as well. But at 5.5 million with a bloke that doesn't keep clean sheets and only started 28 times last year, I don't rate it. I don't rate it at all. I don't understand what the hype is there. Then we have a look at Virgil van Dijk. Now, his defensive contribution was an outlier last year. Over his last 5 years, it's significantly lower than the 8.811. And I'm only going to give that a pass because in reality, how often is he actually going to get that? He obviously doesn't have the best goal threat either. 3 goals and 1 assist last year. It was actually outperformed like what he's been doing recently. The year before, I don't even know if he had any goals the year before. But he did keep 14 clean sheets and he played 37 times. So I understand the lure that he plays every single week. I just don't really see the massive upside in picking Virgil van Dijk, which is why I don't rate him and which is why I don't have him in my current draft either. Then we've got Anderson. This pick makes 0 sense to me at all. He had 30 starts, so he almost missed 25% of the season. That was probably because of his transfer. Also got suspended, I'm pretty sure as well. 4 clean sheets as a defender. 4 clean sheets as a defender. 0 goals, 0 assists. So 0 attacking contributions. Barely any attacking threat. Yes, he gets defensive contribution points. 9.53. He almost gets the average of 10 that you need per game as a defender every game. But when you're not keeping clean sheets, when you've got no attacking threat, there are far better 4.5 million defenders with significant upside. Then we look at Van der Ven, and this one makes zero sense to me at all. The dude cannot stay fit. We have seen that his entire time at Tottenham. He cannot stay fit. 12 starts last year for only 2 clean sheets. Again, you're essentially getting defenders in that you think will keep clean sheets. Spurs do not keep clean sheets. Go back and look at the history over the last couple of years. They are bad at keeping them. 0 goals, 2 assists. His XG and XA are actually not too bad. Defensive contributions, though, are rubbish. So why are people thinking that Tottenham are all of a sudden going to be this miraculously good team under Thomas Frank? I don't understand it at all. For example, Brentford last year kept 8 clean sheets. Spurs kept 6. It was either 7 or 6. I can't remember. It's one of the two. Frank didn't keep clean sheets at Brentford. It's a myth that he's going to make Tottenham's defence that much better. It's going to be better than what Ange did, let's be honest. And they do have better defenders, I would argue, probably across the whole than Brentford. But does he improve them that much? I'm not convinced that he does. And then Thiago, another one, the FPL review, and this could have been Barnes. It could have been, if you've got Barnes in your team, go back and have a look at his stats from last year. The dude did not start. He is not a very good pick. I don't think he's going to be getting any minutes really at all in the Premier League except coming on at the end. He's not going to be starting games based on last year's stats. Thiago is a real wild card. 1 start last year. Again, another player that's being promoted by FPL Review. The only good thing about him, ironically, he only played 100 and odd minutes of football. His defensive contributions per 90 was really good. 11.85 per 90. And it even out too, which I thought was interesting. But 0 goals, 0 assists, and those numbers for an attacker, I think you'd want to see him be playing before you were confident to pick him as one of your players. So this is the FPL Review team. Let's talk about it, and I'm just going to give my honest opinions on what I think about these players. So Sanchez in goal. Again, Chelsea have a nice-ish start to the season. However, I expect Crystal Palace to score against them on the weekend. I actually don't think... I think Chelsea... I haven't seen them. Obviously, their pre-season games are this weekend and early next week. They've had pretty much a couple of weeks off from the Club World Cup. Are they going to have the rhythm straight away? I just don't think that picking Chelsea players, particularly in defence and goalkeeper, is actually the play the first 5 or 6 game weeks of the season. It's the same for Man City for me. I just think that's personally where it is. Dubravka, I understand. If you want a $4 million playing goalkeeper, he's literally just been signed by Burnley. That in itself makes a fair bit of sense because then you don't have to spend up on a 4.5. But he plays for Burnley, and how often do you want to play him? Is he even going to be good on bench boost? Let's be honest. Let's talk about the other ones that are on the bench here as well. So Barnes, 4.5 million. As I said, his stats last year, I'm actually surprised he's owned by 4.9% of the comp. And that, like, people, is this the review people just picking this bloke? Or because they think that, oh yeah, he's a cheap 4.5. The dude is going to probably get less minutes than Obi. Probably get less points as well. Let's be honest. Then we got Dorgu. This pick I don't mind. I actually had Dorgu in my own team, and I don't use any AI algorithms, as I said before. I don't mind him. He has got super huge upside. The only question mark behind him is whether Dalot is going to be played in certain games. That is a little bit concerning. But as I said, I like that pick. Esteve, again, Burnley defender. I just don't really rate 4 million defenders because you really don't want to be playing them in any single week. I remember last year I had Faze from Leicester and I didn't play him once. So what's the point? And then one week I did have to play him because I had an injury. So I just think it's better to spend up and get a 4.5. I don't have any 4 millions in my team and I'm probably confident that I won't be having any come the end. Then we've got Anderson. So Anderson and Pedro Porro. I've literally just explained why I don't like either of these 2 picks. Again, I don't understand why FPL Review loves them. Like, Pedro Porro doesn't have the defensive contribution. It's like they're expecting Tottenham to become good and improve drastically on what they finished last season, which was 17th. They've already lost Maddison to an ACL. I just don't know. Their defenders don't stay fit. I just don't understand that pick myself at all. The only pick I do like out of these ones is the Murillo pick. Now, thankfully, I'm going to shout out Nick Triggerlips because he was the one that actually put this into review because he's been using it. And, yeah, spat this out. I was like, just give me the most optimal team with the picks that we see in every single draft. And this is what review spat out. So Murillo, I don't mind that. You're not seeing him in every draft. And Nottingham Forest's first 6 weeks are really good. So I don't mind that pick at all. Then we got Mo Salah. I'm not going with him in my own draft. I can tell you straight off the bat, you will not see me come the game week 1 deadline with Mo Salah in my team. I just think he's not going to get anywhere near the level to justify that price tag. A bit like what Haaland did last year. He might have a good couple of weeks where he gets like 15 points or whatever, but it's not going to be often enough to justify the 14.5. That's my personal opinion. Cole Palmer is in my own team, and I understand that pick. He was great at the Club World Cup, but again, the second half of last season in the Premier League was not good. You could easily go against him potentially at the start of the season. He could be caught cold as well, like Chelsea, or he might start really well. The fact he's young makes me think he'll start not too bad. Then we get to my two least favourite picks in midfield that I've seen, other than Kudos, and that's Ndiaye and Anderson. I've explained the reasons why I don't like them. Again, they literally show up in every single content creator's team except my own. You won't see either of them in my teams. I've got no interest in any of them. Then Bruno Fernandes. Now, I had him before FPL Review launched because I'm a Man United fan, and I just know that this man plays 90 minutes. Amrin loves him, and he's going to be in every single team, every single game week this season, unless he's injured, which he's never injured, or if he's suspended and he got himself sent off. He's got pretty good defensive contribution numbers. He's obviously on penalties, and I think Man United will actually score and win a lot more penalties this year, so that could be really good for Bruno. Then the forward line. Now, I don't mind the forward line in terms of Watkins and Solanke themselves. Watkins, I think, is almost a dead... you'd have to be silly not to go with him, honestly, because of the fact that Villa have an amazing run of fixtures to begin the season with, and I just think he's great value at 9 million. As I said, I think he's better than Erling Haaland at 14, that's for sure. And then Solanke, if he can stay fit, he's currently in my draft as well. I don't mind that pick. He could go big, but again, Spurs in general, they always fill me with dread. And the dude has often struggled to stay fit as well, which is also disappointing. So, how to win and try and win FPL. Now, I've never won it. I got closest dive I've got last year. I actually got 4,881 last year. So I know kind of what I'm talking about. And last year was the very first year where I actually took it seriously and I didn't miss any deadlines. And that's because I was making content. So I can't be sitting there doing the dumb stuff that all the casuals do if I'm going to sit there and talk to you guys about it. So I feel like I'm a little bit more attuned to what I can say about this year. So the best advice I can give you is watch the actual games of football. Like, I know that can be hard in the UK. Get yourself a Fire Stick. No, don't do that. You'll probably get hunted down by the police or whatever. But at least try and watch Match of the Day. Watch the highlights. See what's happening. It's free on the BBC, so there's no reason not to watch it. It's a good 1.5 hours. I watched it when I was in the UK with my mate. So again, that's worth watching just to see what's going on. You can see where players are playing. Just from that small bit of info itself, it's definitely worth doing. It makes the game a lot more fun as well. Secondly, make your own decisions based off your own feelings. You 100% get some wrong. I got some wrong last year. I put Bart Verbruggen in for my bench boost last year, and he sucked. He conceded 2 goals to Leicester, who hadn't scored in 9 games. But it's more fun. Don't rely on what I'm saying or what other people are saying. Make up your own minds. You're intelligent people. I back in my own decisions. I sit there and I listen to other ideas and I think, oh yeah, I could see how that could work. But at the end of the day, it's your team. If you own it, it's a lot more fun either way, whether it goes bad or whether it goes good. Make your own decisions. Use your transfers aggressively is the next one. And this is my fundamental aim. And this is how I got inside the top 10K. 100%. If you want to know how I got inside the top 10K, it's not banking transfers. It's using them. I took 5 points hits last year. No, actually, that's a lie. I took more than that. I think I took 8 points hits last year. I had minus 32 points from hits across the last season, and I still finished top 5K. I was aggressive. I would rather take a hit than roll 5 transfers. Let's put it that way. Plus, this season as well, they're giving you extras. You're going to get more than 38 transfers. I think you're going to get, if you use them all, you'll get 42 or 43, depending on whether I've got my math right. It could be slightly less, because obviously when you use free hit and wildcard, it doesn't accumulate them, so that obviously comes into it. And I haven't done the quick math on that one. But again, you get them. Target fixture swings, but don't look more than 6 game weeks ahead. If you do that, form, fixtures, injuries, all these interminables that we can't think of, they will play a part. And you cannot sit there and factor in that in beyond 6 weeks. If your player is fantastic and it gets to 6 weeks and all of a sudden they're just great, brilliant. You don't have to move them in. But I wouldn't be sitting there targeting, all right, first 10 weeks, I'm going to use this player. This player is going to be good in game week 10. They could start rubbish and be absolutely no good by game week 3, let alone game week 10. And then lastly, pick differentials that target fixtures. It doesn't mean the whole team has to be differential. But sit there and look at the players, and there are a lot of players you can take on this year, I believe. I'm taking on Salah and Haaland to begin the season with. Last year, I had them both in my draft. So it's not like I'm anti-Salah and Haaland. I just think this year, with the starts for both players, the preparation, I just don't think that they are good assets to begin the season. And I'll probably own them during some points of the season, but I'm not going to be starting with them for that reason. So hopefully that adds a little bit of oomph into do it. Now, with that all being said, I've decided to just give you a differential draft that's different with differentials just to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So this is a premium defense with Salah and Palmer draft, and it's cost exactly 100 million. As you can see there, I've still got Solanke in my team. Instead of Watkins, I've got Bowen. Instead of Barnes, I've got Obi. Just because I'm a Man United fan, I whacked him, and I had to have a Man United player in this draft. Now, in the defense, I've paid up big. You've got Sells, you've got Kelleher, you've got Murillo, you've got Kukurea, you've got Tarkowski, you've got Lacroix, and you've got Collins. You could easily play a 5 at the back in certain weeks with this squad. Or you can put it in a 4-5-1. It's entirely up to you. Again, we look in the midfield, slightly differential midfield here. I've got Ismail Assar, Semenyo. I've obviously got the two big hitters in Palmer and Salah. I just wanted to show you, like, you didn't have to go completely anti-template or whatever. Those two picks, I think, you know, they keep you in there. They always talk about not losing FPL. You can't win it either. But you can't lose it either if you've actually got a plan and it makes a lot of sense and you're targeting the fixtures. More often than not, the fixture play is where the points come. Then Baliba's in there as enabler as well. So again, you can sit there. You can get rid of Baliba. You can play Collins or Craw. Those three essentially rotate themselves. Obi's the dead weight, but your bench, you've still got two decent players on the bench every single week. And you've obviously got Keller in there if you wanted to play a bench boost early. And you can obviously move some money around in order to get rid of Obi and maybe bring someone else in. I've actually sat there and thought that maybe dropping Kukurea to Milinkovic and then upgrading like Obi to a 5 million forward is probably the play. Because Forest have such good fixtures the first 6 weeks, and I think defensively they'll be good. And I don't mind the triple up on them. I could see a lot of people getting off to a good start with that particular strategy. So yeah, that's just my personal opinion. I just think playing the game a little bit differently, a little bit fun, go all in, stuff the AI. The AI is ruining the game. It's what's wrong with FPL. I've always been a firm believer in just back yourself in. Look at the stats. It doesn't hurt to look at the website. Look at the stats that are already available on there and do your own maths. All those stats I put on the screen before are all from the FPL website and me actually calculating the 90 minutes XA, XG defensive contributions using a calculator in my own head. Not an AI algorithm, and I think I just wanted to put that out there. So let me know what you think of that video. Obviously, it's a little bit different to what I put out. I just wanted to sit there and just put out the fact that, you know, I don't know if you're like me, but I'm sick of seeing draft videos. I've seen some people upload 10 different draft videos on their channels about updated draft literally every second day. I don't know about you lot. If you find it boring, let me know in the comments. Let me know if this has been something a little bit funny. Let me know if it's been a little bit of food for thought. Am I absolutely barking? Should I just convert and become a robot and just work it out? Or should I just keep on being me and going hard on those differentials and those picks? Let me know in the comments. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll be back tomorrow with another video. So keep your eye out. I've been FPL D-Unit.